Hey everyone, Gil Gross here. This is a pre-match thoughts video on the second men's semifinal of the day between Novak Djokovic and Dominic Thiem. There is already a thoughts video, a pre-match thoughts video out on the first men's semifinal that I'm just getting ready to watch right now between Federer and Nadal. There will be post-match thoughts videos at the conclusion of both of these matches. It is an exciting day ahead in Paris. So let's talk about this. Djokovic and Dominic Thiem. This is a tough one to call. Dominic Thiem and Novak Djokovic are part of that elite club of three, in my opinion. The three candidates going into this tournament that had a very strong chance to win the French Open. So this should be really, really good. I think there are a couple things to consider here. And that is, one, that this match is pretty much on Dominic Thiem's racket. But how often is that true when we're talking about Novak Djokovic? He's not the kind of player who always plays the most aggressive style of tennis, who plays first strike tennis, who hits a lot of aces, who has the massive forehand that can kind of be unplayable at times. He's not that player. So this is true for Novak Djokovic against some of the elite players with the most elite weapons very often. But he still finds ways to win. So the question is, I think given Dominic Thiem's weaponry, given his massive kick serve and his massive forehand and his ability to really crush his backhand from the back of the court, I do feel that at Thiem's redlining level, at his peaking level, he actually, it's on his racket. I don't know how else to put it. The key here is going to be the unforced error count, and it's something that I think in the past has held Thiem back. Against the elite opponents, Thiem can overhit, and he can make too many errors, and I do believe we saw it when these two played in Madrid. It manifested itself in, Thiem playing a guy in Djokovic who has better returns and better defense than anyone else he plays, and it leads him to make decisions, panicky decisions that he wouldn't normally make, such as the overuse of the drop shot, which we saw in Madrid. Him overusing the drop shot, Thiem overusing the drop shot in Madrid, was frustration for not being able to hit it by Djokovic and not seeing really a path to winning the point with his power, because Djokovic is so good at absorbing the pace and so good at defending the corners. So the unforced error count is the number to watch. If Thiem makes less unforced errors than Djokovic, I'm quite certain he'll actually win this match. But I do feel that that's pretty unlikely. Now I want to talk about the conditions. It's damp and it's windy. There's rain in the forecasts. To me, and I'm always a little bit careful with this analysis because I don't play on these courts myself and experience it for myself, and because I can't talk to a lot of players and ask them, I'm not 100% certain. But I do believe that damper, heavier conditions, when the court is wet, makes things a little bit slower, but it also makes things a little bit lower bouncing. Roger Federer taking the court as I speak. I'm so excited. That's huge for Djokovic, because one of the things that Thiem had the potential to do to really bother Djokovic was to kick it up high out of Djokovic's strike zone, which I do believe Novak had some trouble with against Nadal in Rome. And I actually think in the first set against Zverev's forehand is quite loopy, and Djokovic seemed to have trouble with his footwork setting up in exactly the right place. Now let's talk about the wind. I think this is key. What's Thiem's worst clay court tournament? Monte Carlo, very windy. He's the only player in the semifinals, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Thiem. Thiem's the only player who actually hasn't proven himself in windy conditions, in my opinion. And he does, I believe, due to his style of play, where he does take awfully big cuts at the ball. Wind can really disrupt that. The more compact, shorter your swings, the more adjustment steps you take, the more clean you're going to be able to hit the ball in wind. So I trust Djokovic, who keeps things quite short. I trust Djokovic more to limit the errors in windy conditions compared to Thiem. So I think the wetter courts will help Djokovic with the lower bounce, and I think the wind will help Djokovic because he'll be better prepared to strike the ball cleanly. In summary, Thiem has more firepower. Thiem can do more on the surface. Like, for example, and I just want to be very, very clear, this wouldn't be as important on all surfaces, right? Like on a grass court, I think Djokovic could do a lot of dictating. But on a clay court, I think Thiem will do most of the dictating. And I just don't think he'll be able to keep the unforced errors low enough. Let's see. It'll be very interesting to see how patient Thiem is. If he overhits, if he overuses the drop shot, if he approaches the net prematurely because he's searching for answers. What he really needs to do is exercise a kind of shot tolerance and a kind of patience that I don't really think we've seen for Thiem, although it's improving. Although that this part of his game is on the way. If Thiem continues his trajectory, I'm quite certain he will win the French Open within the next 2-3 years. For now, could win this year, obviously. For now, I do think that the unforced error count is going to be the key here, and Djokovic takes this, I haven't decided, 4 sets, 5 sets? 4 sets. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy the matches. I'll see you next time.